Donald Trump not holding back his disdain for the media.
When I raise money, excuse me, I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty. But what I don't want is when I raise millions of dollars, have people say, like this sleazy guy right over here from ABC. He's a sleaze in my book. You're a sleaze because you know the facts, and you know the facts well.
Is this what it's going to be like covering you if you're president?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. So do these words work with the voters? Let's ask pollster Frank Luntz, Fox News contributor. Frank's a little bit different than our normal segments, and as is Donald Trump.
No, and he called me a slob, which was accurate. This is back about a year ago. I am. Look, I mean, you can look at me. The problem is that he called me an idiot. And as a PhD from Oxford University, I am a slob. I dress like a clown if you guys want to get the shoes on.
Not clown. You guys like you have gym today.
But I'm not.
You have Converse.
But they're Trump shoes. These shoes are going to make America great again. I'm hoping somebody can get this shot. Here is what is so powerful about what Donald Trump is doing, which is the American people hate political correctness. And not just the Republicans, independents and some Democrats as well. Second is that they're tired of being told what to think and how to think by the press.
Right.
They want to make those decisions themselves. So as he is doing this, the average reporter thinks this guy is horrible. The average voter thinks finally someone is standing up to them, shouting them down, and putting them back in their place. The only people who have credibility ratings as unfavorable as members of Congress are members of the press.
Wow, that's true. So when he was yelling at the press, he's really not hurting himself because the American people go, okay, he's showing an aggression. He wants to win. Maybe we want that.
Look, it's the reason why the top 5% of the country doesn't like, the highest income people don't like him, because he doesn't speak their language. But why he's getting so many blue-collar workers and working-class Americans.
So, Frank, I know you feel like you've studied everything. I know you're fascinated by this political season more than anything else, because this is what you do for a living. So you're all watching and learning, as we all are, and all the experts have been wrong. But you said something interesting in the break. You said that Donald Trump said, why should I change? Because look at what I've done so far being me. But your answer is very interesting. You think you got to change. Yeah, you got this far, but it doesn't mean it's going to get you the rest of the way. And what do you mean by that?
The person who taught me this was Newt Gingrich in 1994, and he said, what made you successful as an opposition leader would not make you successful if you were actually in power. Reagan said the same thing in 1980. It's one thing to say it as a critic.
Right.
It's another thing when you're elected president and how you behave. Donald Trump absolutely shocked and just embarrassed the pundits because of his style. But what got him to the nomination with that segment of Republican and independent voters does not get you to 50% among this new electorate, which is all of America.
So, Frank, do you think he needs to say, this is how I get rid of the $19 trillion? This is how specifically I get rid of ISIS? Or name the people that would do that?
So I want to give you credit, because in the break, you said he probably should name his cabinet. You're right, because that tells you the people who are going to be around him. And in my interviews with Trump voters, that's the #1 thing that they say to me. As long as he surrounds himself with incredibly bright, experienced people, that's what I'm looking for in a businessman. That's what I'm looking for in the next president of the United States.
Wow. So, I mean, if so far we're seeing that he is very comfortable with the rallies, let's see if he's going to be comfortable dealing with the super PACs, raising money and everything else.
Look, he's got an important convention speech.
Right.
And the less that he's reading from a teleprompter, which is what Hillary Clinton has to do, the more effective he's going to be. And then, of course, the debates.
All right. Bill Kristol is rolling out a candidate, a third party.
Meaningless. Meaningless.
Why?
Meaningless. And there's no, because this is not someone who's ever held elective office. This is not someone who the American people know. This is not someone who has the money and the experience. It is absolutely meaningless.
1% could make this election.
Yes, but then you should be looking at Gary Johnson, the governor of New Mexico, and Bill Weld, the former governor, both of them former governors of Massachusetts. They're much more credible than Bill Kristol's candidate.
Your sneaker says?
Yes, my sneaker says, make America great again.
Well.
And there we go. and that's Donald Trump. And here's the thing. I'm selling these for so much money. I'm winning by selling
they're
these
huge.
sneakers.
Absolutely. He's got a righty and lefty. Good job. Always good to see you, Frank.
Thank you.